So we're going to talk about the sutureless fabric lamination covering technologies. So just a little bit about Medibrane. We are leader development of coating technologies and covering technologies. All we do is encapsulation coatings, and we'll discuss, we do different type of encapsulation coating, but we're going to talk only on one of the technologies, which is sutureless fabric. So unfortunately, not all the medical applications require covering, but eventually when you look at it, when you need a blood direction, or you need to occlude something, or you need to bond some stent to the vessel, so you need to use covering. And it will be amazing to know, but about 30% of the stents today are covered, which all the nitinol parts actually, 30% of them are covered, which is a huge number. And about, I think, if you look at it, about 70% of them is actually sewn. Like, and we're going to touch base about it. A little bit about where we are and what we do. So we do covered stent, clot retrieval, delivery system, embolic protection device, and structural heart devices. And most of them are being running different technologies regarding actually the exact need. So these are a few samples that you see, and this is like a fabric, covering. So what you can see that there are structural heart devices. These are the major one, and what you can see that there are actually a lot of suturing around it that's being done handmade, which is amazing, because they actually hi. Yeah, please. So most of what we see today is that it's been sutured, handmade. Some of them actually even sutured in California, which is amazing. A little bit about, I'm going to give some background about fabric. So most of the fabric that are being used in this device, it's a PET Dacron device, and it's being used because of several reasons. First of all, the tissue growth is there, and it's bond the fabric very well. And the most interesting part is that if you compare Dacron to EPTFE or to other material, Dacron is the one that are being bonded with tissue the faster way. And this is a little bit of a pattern that can done. So this is how we measure the pore size. And there's different patterns and different ways that you connect, different patterns actually connect different bond growth. So, sewing fabric, which is most of who deal with the industry, that's what they do. So it's a manual process, it's handmade, it has low yield comparably to an automated process, because when you bring a new person to do the sewing, you need to train him like about 3 months until you get to a good training capability. And if you need to scale up, it's going to take you ages. You need much bigger place, much more people, and it's really hard. And more of that, even on the clinical part, if the wires actually add crimping, get higher crimping profile, they add real estate to the device, which you can avoid if you are using other techniques. So when you look about, and this is something you guys can see. So what we do, we are bonding using a polymer of a fabric into the stents, and with this one you can create a very low wall thickness. We are using this one. It's about, I think, 50 microns fabric that it is hard to use when you are sewing. It also fully automated technology. You don't need to add too much manual work into it. And what's nice is that you can do it in about, 30 minutes to get one. And we did some short comparison between the available methods and the advantages and disadvantages. And there are three major methods. So you look about the suturing technology while you are sewing, fixation technology, because some of the folks around you are using some fixating devices that's still being done manually, but it's not like sewing, which is a bit better. And the sutureless technology, which you actually bond the material into the stand, and this creates, you know, a new era of capability of automation. Any questions regarding that? Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we do it, because I think that this is part of what you can enjoy by seeing that. So if you can see in this picture, I think that one of the things that we are actually very keen into is about the adhesion. So when you bond the polymer to a nitinol, if you don't use a certain technique, you won't get a chemical bonding, and you won't get a very good adhesion between the parts and the polymer. So the first thing that you can see is that this is an interesting picture, because here you see that practically there's a poor adhesion. This is the same picture. There's a lamination of the polymer of the nitinol, while here you can see that they're actually very much connected. And when you look about here, this connection or this bonding is actually have a very strong adhesion forces, and that's where you can start to bond other stuff. So first of all, what we do is we create a polymer bonding, a very good bonding to the nitinol, and then we bond the fabric into it. And the main idea is to prepare the surface for both materials in order to bond to the polymer that connect between them. So we talked about surface treatment. So we use a protocol of surface treatment. It really depends to the material. It could be a fabric of PET, or it could be PTFE, or to the metal. So it can have a different stuff like plasma, corona, primers. If the product is short term, we can also use sandblast, because sandblast usually hurts the long-term capabilities. And I think, you know, what we see here, and this is what interesting, is that the polymer is filtered to the fabric. And what is important to say that in the area that there is no struts in it, it will be complete open pores. But when at the area of the strut, it will be embedded also with the polymer. So this is a bit different from what is currently made. One of the things that, you know, that we can do, and the thing that we encourage engineers to use, is that we are going to have a variable in a few weeks in Chamfer, which is a marketplace for nitinol parts, or for tubes and etc. So there will be samples, as you can see here, and you can use those samples in order to evaluate the technology and to show it to your management and etc.